What's going on in the real estate market across the country right now? Fast Company just put out a report. I'm going to go through some of what they said and kind of talk through it. So, median days on market generally is tracking how long a property is sitting on the market. Faster, the less houses on the market. What's going on in the real estate market right now? So Fast Company just put this report out. I'm going to go through it. So first, we're looking at median days on the market. So some of the big winners that we saw in 2020, Florida, Texas, where we see these massive decreases in average days on market, have now come back up. And we're seeing that Florida and Texas are now seeing longer days on markets, or markets that I'm specifically interested in, which in the Southeast, which would be the Carolinas. You're seeing things coming back down to a more reasonable level where we're seeing 30, 35 days on market across both those. Some key areas that are different would be the Myrtle Beach market, as well as some of the submarkets. I think a big thing to note here is that if you look at the major metropolitan markets in the Carolinas, those are still holding a very low days on market, while some of the rural areas are starting to creep up. This indicates to me that there are probably less demand for these houses on the outskirts of the big cities. As interest rates have remained high for longer periods of time, the desire to commute longer as people find their new rhythm with this new world we're in has significantly decreased. And as interest rates have maintained this high level, investors are also not looking at these low income producing areas because the appreciation just doesn't look like it's going to be there. As we move to active housing listings across the country, we can see again that Florida and Texas, which were massive winners in the 2020 and post-pandemic era of having very few houses on the market, very fast appreciation, a lot of people moving there, those are starting to come back down to earth. Florida and Texas are seeing a lot more houses on the market. We've now surpassed in a lot of the major metro areas how many houses are on the market now versus what were on the market in 2019. Other areas of the country to note, the Midwest and Northeast still maintaining significantly lower volumes of homes on the market than in pre-pandemic era. And the Carolinas is a bit of a mixed bag where we have overall less homes on the market or about the same number of homes on the market as were on the market in early 2020 to mid to late 2019. This is in response to not as many people looking for houses, higher interest rates going on, and also the number of new builders continuing to build homes through this era. Some of those projects starting either right after or right during that big peak in home sales during the 2021-2022 era. Finally, we look at the 1 year change of prices of homes across the country. You can again see the correlation between the low amount of homes on the market and appreciation in the Midwest and Northeast. This transverses down into the Carolinas, where we see general good housing appreciation across all markets in the Carolinas and Georgia. And then again, Florida and Texas are showing up as kind of the once were the winners of the COVID era and are now coming back down to earth and trying to restabilize, where we have low home or even negative home appreciations in some of these markets, Miami being a big exclusion of that. And then in the Carolinas, in general, while things are appreciating well, there still see some markets like Myrtle Beach, which we're seeing a little bit of stabilization. All in all, we're moving back to a more healthy real estate market across the country as things stabilize and come back out. It'd be interesting to see what the Fed does as interest rates reduce over the next month to year and a half, where we end up and what this drives. My overall projection is that the Carolinas are going to maintain their desirability, not only from new homes that are being built, but new jobs that are coming in and general climate. And so as people are moving across the country, they're going to continue to look at the Carolinas and Georgia for a place to move. Florida and Texas will also continue to be places that people want to move to, specifically if prices start coming down. But I think that they still have a bit of ways to go before they're back in line with where they probably should be.